Hello, this is Forges down here with another Halo Wars commentary video, and today I'm kind of a little bit sick, so excuse me for my even shittier than normal commentary. I will be playing with GC Velocity, and I'm not very legit, against Mike Beaston, Quick to Kill, and SG Mythic, and what I think is an Anders Arbiter Brute versus Double Arbiter Anders match on 14. Now, the meta game has kind of changed a little bit for Halo Wars for like probably the first time in a year or so. I think ever since like all the good people quit mostly. Yeah, it hasn't changed. It's just stayed the same with the whole double arbiter thing. But now people run Anders instead of Forge a lot more, and instead of just going tanks on this map, which is usually a better option, people try to go Gauss, which can usually work if better if you do it right. But it's hard to do it to begin with. So my advice to anyone trying to do this, if you're like high level, then go ahead and sure and try. But if you're still trying to learn how to play this game, then don't try it. Anyway, the goal is just to get Goss, get the Expo, get it like some upgraded pads, and if make sure that you get the Expo and deny theirs. If their Arbiter comes, and you can just D-bomb early game and just rape it. Because if you have about 7 or 8 Gunner Hogs, or maybe 6 or 7 Grenadier, you can just kill the Arbiter. Without losing, with only losing like maybe 1 Hog or so, and then a little bit of health. Now usually in this combo matchup, the Brute will go on offense like Temple's first or maybe Temple's second. In this case, our Brute went Temple second. And usually you want to go Temple first just so you can deny more than earlier pad. Although really all it takes to stop a Temple first Brute rush is just 1 ram, but since your UNSC has hogs, you can just defend it. And then the Arbiter is supposed to go on defense if they're against the Brute. However, we have the Brute, so both of us can just go on offense and just outbase damage them. Most of the time against Double Arbiter, you'll want to make Flamers, since if you try to go Hogs, then it's not going to be as effective, but yeah, this is a new strat. And both of the Covenants are on there denying the space, so it's working pretty well. But then I see that Mike's over here at the Brute space, and he's trying to stop any more Brutes from coming through. So I gotta go over there and kill his Hogs. And since they're too busy ramming Brutes, and since they lost a little bit of their health anyway, I can just kind of snipe them off here before maybe the Arbiter tries to run and stop me. Another thing about Micro and Hogs, if you're trying to chase after someone, usually the one chasing gets more damage than actually the guy running away. And also, if you have one Hog in front that's like a red shot, you might want to just like make him go to the back or whatever, because then he's just gonna die. And like I said in a video before, red bar Hog is better than a dead Hog. And most of the time, if you're going Goss, all you really need is 3 or 4 upgraded supply pads. It doesn't take that good of an economy to do it. And kind of right here, I micro not so well. And I'm just like getting raped by the turrets. I probably should have just tried to get the blind spot in the back instead of in the front. But anyway, I see that there's a bunch of yellow shit on the map, so that our Mike is buying an axe spot. And our Arbiter is going to be over there shortly to deny it. The Red Arbiter is still harassing us, but we're still harassing them more, and doing more damage as well. And Quick's just kind of getting stripped since there are 2 leaders on his base. And he can't really, at this point, since he's the guy on offense, he can't really build that many more grunts since his base is getting, like, slack. Now you want to buy the Expo, and I was thinking that since they're still trying to defend against the Brute Rush, I can just go over there. If the Brute wasn't finished with the Rush, then I probably would have. If the Brute was finished with the Rush, I probably would have just stayed on our side and debombed and tried to protect the base. I could try to go over to. I was gonna go over to Quick to Go's main just to make him recall and stop harassment instead of trying to directly fight him. And I go reactor first on my Expo. Most of the time, you don't really want to do that because it's a little bit more risky. And then also, I blow up the reactor because instead of just going over to their side, I just choose just to try to kill Quick real quick. Even though he's like a non-Phoenix Arbiter, it's just pretty easy just to debomb and kill him. I may not have even needed a debomb at this point since he had no money, but his teammates can click him, so I just didn't want to take the risk of losing a few hogs for it. Now this one's gonna push up since they only have one Arbiter. And they have an Expo, but we have more Banshees since they got hurt more by the rush. And Mythic didn't get attacked, but now, right when he's trying to get his summons up, he's being attacked, so uh, I'm not very legit is doing really good damage over there and keeping him down. But that's a really good sign of how the game's going. If your brute chieftain is still over there denying them, then you probably should win. If it's like 7 or so minutes in and he's just still killing pads, stopping them from doing stuff. Most of the time, the brute chieftain will just die by then. Someone will smack him running him. And even right here, he manages to vortex like a few hogs before he dies, which is really good. And I know that and because he was over there, that bought me some time to be able to just to shoot at this base for a little while. Since the brute chieftain, since the arbiter is still trying to get the brute chieftain off, and it takes like a minute for for our leader to be rebuilt. So I'm pretty sure Quick to Kill is still dead or whatever, but I kind of have flaky hogs right here, and I run away for a second because I thought he had more, and I didn't have Gosh yet. But then I see that he doesn't have it either, so I try going over to him. I know the Arbiter's probably gonna be behind here or something, so I try to snipe it off real quick. Since he's right at the back of the left pad. Try to do a little bit more damage, and I know Mike was gonna cryo there. He usually tries to cryo in that type of situation, and if he got it, then that might have been a good game since I would have lost all my stuff there, and the base might have not have even died. So at this point, we're pretty much in the lead, and all I have to do is just get more expos and keep denying theirs, and we should be alright. At this point, I don't want, I had some SOGs that were still going over there, and I tried to manually tell them to go away since I didn't want to lose them. And, also another thing about Anders hogs, about Anders in general, sometimes you might want to research a medium cryo, especially if it's a double covenant mare, just so you stasis them there for a little bit more longer. And if you have the money, it's worth it, definitely. And I see his Goss is coming over here, and I guess he was thinking I saw the fire base, and I knew he was gonna do a counter push at this point, so I upgraded the base just so I could live. Once he realizes that, He just goes away, and I'm pretty sure he knew that the Arbiter was there too, and their Arbiter wasn't out yet, or maybe not on our side. And one last thing about, well, not one last thing, but one other thing about Anders is that if you have Goss, you can just clear out an expo of probably one or two hogs. You don't have to bring all of them over here, but I brought all of them here because I wanted to do it real quick, and since I'd be close to the expansion if you actually did buy it and the Banshees weren't able to deny it. So I could just push up real quick after I cleared it out, and I'd be on the right side to do it, instead of maybe in the middle. And at this point, I'm kind of wondering, where are all my hogs? It says I have 17 pop, but only 10 of them were out. And then their arbiters, wait, our arbiters there, which is good. If their arbiter was there, then that might have not been so great. Now I'm just trying to see if my D-bomb is back, because they're two arbiters. I don't really want to try to push on them right yet, because I'm probably not going to be able to kill both of them with only about 14 Warthogs. But if I have the D-bomb, I'm like on 3 bases and Mike's on 1, so if I just manage to get over there and D-bomb, then there's nothing we can really do, since we have air lead. The only thing that can stop Goss is just either tanks, or on some type of UNSC unit, or maybe their Arbiter, but the D-bomb's there. Maybe a really large pop of repeating cannon, but like I said, we have air lead, so there's nothing to worry about. That guy healed Wasu's Arbiter, and legit starts shooting down the shield. And at this point, I'm thinking, well, instead of having 14, I have 24, so why not just hop in there? And my D-bomb's almost back, so it's time to push up. Guess I'm a little lazy here. And before somebody drops a D-bomb, if you know your teammate's gonna do it, you usually wanna like either rage outside of the D-bomb and try to get the hogs that are coming there, or try to rage them before the D-bomb's there, which is Velocity Lift, which helped a lot because that was about like 8 or so hogs that he lost, which gives me even more of a lead just to go kill more stuff. Now, at this point, it's pretty much over since they're gonna lose their base. Now, by the way, with his matchmaking, it was a pretty good game, and